I feel like Maxwell.
It's very 70s.
I feel like. I don't know if you can see me if you're listening to the podcast, but I dressed up in tribute to our next guest, Jonte. Jonte, you know Jonte. Jonte's incredible. I've looked up to this man. You know, that's my phone. Hold on, boo. Oh, it's Jonte. What up? Hold on. Oh, I think my skirt just ripped. Okay, I'll call you back, boo. I'm just talking about, it was Jonte. Anyway.
It's Jonte?
So anyway, I know, right? So Jonte came to our studio, told us his story, things that you don't know, and my producer, Brian Rubiano, interviewed him, Barbara Walter style, and we got a lot of good stuff, a lot of juicy stuff. So Jonte, I love you, and I'm wearing this hat and this little mink thing for you to let you know how much I love you. And I really pushed the girls up as high as they could go. I used to be a B cup, but I think I'm drooping a little in my older age there. So here we go. Hit the button. I think it's already playing. Let's go.
So, first question, very simple. Who is Jonte?
Very simple, huh? That is a really hard question to answer because Jonte is a plethora of things. He is multi-talented, he's a homebody, he's very honest, sexual, a club kid, and that's a hard question to ask. I'm so many things. What am I so I know? Because I don't know. I never look at myself.
No, this is true.
I don't.
So nowadays,
Mhm.
how do you define your purpose?
I got in tune with my family this year after being gone for 20 years. And I noticed that I need to be closer to my family. I've been so concerned about the industry and the business that I've kind of neglected them. So my purpose would be to inspire my family that I've left behind right now in my life. Like my nieces and nephews, I haven't seen them for over 20 years. When I left, they were 1 year old. And I finally saw them again for the first time this year because of a pandemic at the age of 20. So it's like, I feel like I've been great in terms of success in my career, but I've kind of left my family behind. So I think my purpose is just to reconnect with my family and be great.
That's pretty cool. Like, how do you see yourself evolving throughout all this? Like you having your renewed purpose of connecting with your family.
How do I see myself evolving? I honestly am an artist or a person that just goes along with the times, and I try to fit myself into whatever is happening at that time. You know, like Nina Simone said, how can you be an artist if you aren't speaking about the times and where you are? So that's how I evolve. I literally just go with the flow. You can't stop the flow.
That's amazing. I like it. You can't stop the flow.
Mhm.
So let's talk about struggles growing up.
Mhm.
Any struggles that you can remember growing up that actually make you who you are right now?
Mhm.
And what are those?
Well, for me, of course, I'm obviously Black and I am queer. So growing up in a predominantly Black neighborhood, which was the ghetto back then in Portland, Oregon, um, I made sure in order to not get bullied that I would be great in what it is that I did. So like I would try to like put myself inside of their worlds. So if there was a basketball game, I would try to like do the halftime game and perform at the halftime games. So that way they could see me perform and realize that I'm a person. You know what I mean? So when they watch me, they love the performance. So they didn't really bother me when I was in school. So I wasn't really bullied because I made sure that I was always on stage and performing, so I have respect.
So you mentioned about being queer
hmm
and being person of color,
hmm
and being Black in America and being queer in America, especially nowadays. How is it affecting you, and how are you actually fighting against racism
hmm
and all the oppression that we are experiencing right
How am I fighting against racism and all of the oppression that we are experiencing right now? That's a deep question to answer because honestly, nobody has all the answers. But what I am happy about right now is that things are in the light, as opposed to when I was growing up being black and queer, everything was hidden. You know what I mean? Like we really had no place to talk about our problems. We just had to deal with them. But it's just good to have the internet around and to see that I'm not alone. So I think if you know that you're not alone, you can get through this trying time.
So any particular support or like people that you actually found comfort with,
My,
especially during these trying times?
the people that I found comfort with was my art. Art is always a way to make me feel comfortable and always to get me. Music is so healing. You need to stay in tune with music and stay in tune with the arts. This is the only way that we can get through something that's this crazy. It's through art. People learn more when they learn through art. Well, they learn better if they learn through art. I think they learn with love when they learn with art.
That's pretty cool. And my next question is, I know we talked about the struggles and the obstacles that you have to overcome. How about moments of triumph? Any particular moment that you can actually like, wow, I can't believe I just did that. Like,
What was one of my most triumphant moments in my career?
like moments like that you can remember for the rest of your life.
Okay, so I've had a few, so I would say one of my most triumphant moments had to be performing with Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl, of course. That had to be one of the highlights of my career, to be on stage with that many legends. You know, you had Brian Freeman up there, you had Tavares up there, Carmit, Justin Timberlake, and Janet Jackson. So it was an experience to be on TV in front of 72 million people for the halftime game, and to have all of my family watch it at the same time. Because when I was growing up, they wanted everyone, well, at least all the black boys had to play sports, either baseball, basketball, or football. Like that was the only way for you to be successful as a black man growing up in the hood. So for me to be a dancer and to be the only one that actually made it on the football stage, it's a triumph.
Sorry, so I want to go back. As an African American, as a person of color, have you ever experienced kind of like being discriminated upon based on the color of your skin in the industry that you so love?
Yes, of course, I've been discriminated against in the industry many times, but for me, I've got so used to getting cut that it doesn't really affect me anymore. It's like after 4 years of people saying no, saying no, saying no to you, you just kind of you just take it as it is. I always say I got cut so many fucking times that I just became confetti. So now I'm just sprinkling shit all over the world.
So we're almost done actually. This is gonna be my last question. If you can give an advice or words of wisdom to a 10-year-old, your 10-year-old self. So look that person in the eye right now, the 10-year-old Jonte. What do you want to say to that? Look at him.
If I were to look at the 10-year-old Jonte and give him advice, I would just look at him and say, baby, you are beautiful and everything's gonna be all right.
Thank you so much for listening, for watching the Uncut interview with Jonte. What an incredible, incredible, incredible human being. And Jonte, I'm wearing this hat for you. It's got a little fur at the top. We will see you next time on the Brian Thomas Podcast.